Capitals forward Tom Wilson's in trouble with the NHL again. In yesterday's preseason closer, he was given a match penalty for a dangerous hit. We'll discuss the hit and the potential suspension coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams. So if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned off the top here, Tom Wilson of the Washington Capitals is facing another suspension here by the NHL. In yesterday's preseason closer against the St. Louis Blues, he delivered a very dangerous hit against Blues forward Oscar Sundqvist. He was giving a match penalty on the play, which automatically gets reviewed by the NHL anyways, but obviously NHL player safety is taking a look at this. Last night, not too long after the game was completed, the player safety department did issue a statement indicating that Tom Wilson was being offered an in-person hearing to discuss the situation. Now, an in-person hearing gives the NHL the potential to suspend for 6 games or more in that type of situation. Obviously, Tom Wilson's considered a repeat offender here. Obviously, he's had other situations in the last 12 months where he's had some dangerous hits. He was suspended not that long ago in the NHL playoffs when the Capitals played the Penguins in the second round of the 2018 playoffs last year for his big hit on Zach Aston Reese, where Aston Reese received a broken jaw as well as a concussion. Wilson also has a history of getting suspended in the preseason, which happened exactly around this time last year. He actually had 2 different situations against the same team, the St. Louis Blues, which resulted in a fine as well as a suspension, and he missed the opening 4 games of the 17-18 regular season. Both these situations occurred against St. Louis Blues forwards Robert Thomas and Sammy Blais. Now, if you haven't seen this play, I will link it down below in the description, but obviously due to NHL copyright, I can't show the footage here on the channel. To summarize quickly here what happened, Oscar Sundqvist did have his head down. He was cutting across the blue line, and I know the argument is like, well, if you have your head down, going across the blue line, admiring your play, your shot, your pass, whatever, and you deserve to get smashed. And well, to be honest, that's old school hockey. I know we've seen that many times back in the 80s, even into the 90s, but that's not the way today's NHL works. In my opinion, Tom Wilson had plenty of time here. I probably had a good 2 to 3 strides where he could have let up, changed the angle, or potentially avoided this type of collision. It does also look like he's targeting the head and that the head is the focal point of contact here. I watched this replay many times trying to form my opinion on this because I know obviously Tom Wilson has a history here. I have not been a Wilson fan for a lot of the types of things he's pulled here on the ice in the past. So I want to make sure I watch the replay over and over to really form my opinion before making this video. And in my opinion here, it does look like he targets the head, and he did have plenty of time that he could have made some adjustments here so he didn't hit Sundqvist in such a vulnerable position. This was absolutely 100% a blindsided hit. I mean, there's some people calling it a predatory hit, and it's hard to argue against that. For starters, this is the preseason. This game doesn't even mean anything. And I realize Tom Wilson plays a physical game, he plays an intense game, and that's all fine. The fact that we're in the preseason and he's playing hard, I suppose you can't fault him for that. He's taking it more seriously than a lot of players do. That's all fine and dandy, but again, he crossed the line here, and there's absolutely no need of this hit. Like I said, it could have been avoided. It's this types of things that keeps getting himself in trouble. He clearly has not learned his lesson from past mistakes in these dirty, blindsided type of hits. In order to get some opinion here, some other fans of the game and who've seen the play, I did run a poll on my Twitter account last night. I gave 5 categories to answer the Twitter poll. I said 5 games or less, 5 to 7 games, 7 to 10 games, or 10 plus. And the bulk of the respondents were in the final 2, were 7 to 10 or 10 plus. There was a fair bit that said less than 5. I think it was around 32 or 33%. As I record this, likely will change here as more people vote on the poll. However, there's still obviously more than half, over 60% of the respondents figured it should be 7 plus games. And obviously with the in-person hearing being offered, that is certainly quite a possibility given the circumstances here. So to summarize my opinion, this is a dirty, blindsided hit. There was no need of it. It could have been avoided. Tom Wilson needs to learn from his actions, and personally, I do hope they suspend him here for quite a lengthy time. Obviously, with his big pay raise he received this summer, this is going to hurt him in the pocketbook way more than it has in the past. So hopefully maybe that'll help him learn from it. I don't know. But Tom Wilson needs to change the way he plays a little bit. He needs to make some adjustments so he's not so reckless out there. Obviously, he's a big fan of this game. I do like to see it played with intensity. I do like to see an aggressive style of play. It can be very entertaining to watch. But at the same time here, these are people's lives that we're talking about. Too many players are receiving concussions and career-ending injuries over reckless plays. And this type of thing absolutely needs to come out of the game. There's more to life here than just hockey. So again, if you haven't had a chance to watch the play, there is a link to the video down below in the description where you can check it out. So please watch it, form your opinion, and leave a comment. At this point in time, it does seem pretty clear that Wilson will be suspended. It's just a matter of how many games. Since he was offered an in-person hearing, at this point it looks like the league is leaning towards 6+, but I guess we'll have to wait and see once the decision is made. As I record this video here on Monday morning, it is not quite clear yet exactly when the hearing will be, so I'm not sure exactly when we'll have a decision, but I would imagine we will have a decision before the first game is opened up here for the NHL season tomorrow. If you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams. There is plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. Don't forget to leave a comment with your thoughts on this play, and I'll catch you next time.